Welcome back to
Podcast
Almost
Every Day. Today my grandma will be talking about some yummy facts about cake, and I will be talking about giraffes. Grandma, would you like to get us started?
Sure. Modern cakes, especially layer cakes, normally contain a combination of flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and oil, with some variations and varieties including liquid, typically milk or water, and leveling agencies such as yeast and baking powder. Flavorful ingredients include fruit, nuts, dried candy fruits, extracts, and other substitutions.
And here's a fact about the giraffe. At an average height of around 5 millimeters to 16 to 18 feet tall, the giraffe is the tallest land animal in the world.
Wow, in Roman times, eggs and butters were often added to the basic bread to give consistency that we would recognize as cake-like, and honey was used as a sweetener.
Characterized is by its long legs, long neck, and distinctive spotted pattern. Many people first believe the giraffe has a cross between a leopard and a camel, which is reflected in its scientific name. Giraffe is actually how you say it. So Giraffe caliprindos, I think, is what it said, I believe.
Did you know that there are national cake days? For example, January 27th is a National Chocolate Cake Day.
Wow, I didn't know that. And giraffes live primarily in the savanna areas in the sub-Saharan region of Africa. The extreme height allows them to eat leaves and shoots located much higher than other animals can reach. The particular they seek out acacia trees. Their long tongues are helpful eating because they help pull leaves from the trees. Spending most of the day eating, a full-grown giraffe consumes over 45 kilograms, which is also known as 100 pounds of leaves and twigs a day.
March 29th is National Lemon Chiffon Cake Day, while April 7th is National Coffee Cake Day.
The male giraffe is both taller and heavier than the female. Both genders have 6 covered knobs called ossitions, I think, on the top of their heads. Female ossitions are smaller and have a small tuft of fur on top, while male ossitions are bald on the top. These knobs are used to protect the head when males fight, which involves swinging their necks at each other with a show of strength called necking.
National Devil's Food Cake Day is May 19th, and National German Chocolate Day is June 11th. All National Cake Day is November 26th.
When giraffes walk, they move both legs on the side of their body, and both legs on the other side, which is unusual. However, they can, in a similar style to other mammals, swinging their rear legs and front legs in oscillation. They can reach 55 kilometers /h, 35 miles per hour is another way to say it, at full speed, but only in brief spurts.
The proverb, "you can't have your cake and eat it," first appeared in the early 16th century, but the proverb "piece of cake" was not coined until the 20th century.
Giraffes sleep less than 2 hours a day. In general, they sleep with their feet tucked under them and their head resting on their headquarters, but they can only sleep for short periods of time standing up.
The word cake comes from the Middle English kake and is probably a borrowing from the Old Norse.
Female giraffes can become pregnant at 5 years old. They carry a baby for 15 months, not 12, but 15 months, and give birth while standing up. Newborns are about 2 m, also known as 6 feet tall, and weigh 7 kilograms, also known as 115 pounds when they are newborns.
The meaning of cake has changed over time. The first cake was a small, flattened sort of bread, round and oval and otherwise regularly shaped, and usually baked hard on both sides.
They live up to 25 years old in the wild.
In Scotland and in parts of Wales and northern England, cake took on a specific meaning of a thick, hard biscuit made from oatmeal.
Giraffes are classified by the IUCN's Red List as vulnerable, of extinction. After researchers survived the population in trucks, by foot, by aircraft, by remote cameras, they confirmed the number of giraffes has plummeted 40% since 1985, with some subspecies such as reed-colored giraffe. The situation is even more dire, with their population declining by nearly 80%.
The world's largest wedding cake weighed 15,032 pounds. It was made by chefs at the Mohegan Sun Hotel and Casino in Connecticut in February 2004.
Giraffes face several threats, including loss of habitat due to the logging for firewood. They are also hunted for their meat, their hides, and tails, which are valued by many African American, or just African, it said African American just / African tribes, which is very, very upsetting.
The world's tallest cake stood 108 feet and 3 inches. Students and staff members from an Indonesia school baked it for their annual Christmas celebration.
And what can we do to help? To help preserve giraffe populations, boycott products made with giraffe body parts and encourage others to do the same.
Wow. The world's most expensive cake is a whopping cost of $35 million. It was crafted at a Aiken Spence Hotel and adorned with 10 different stones belonging to the sapphire family. Also, it is the rarest of sapphires, including the king sapphire. It also included 10 pieces of jewelry, ranging from necklaces, bracelets, rings, brooches, pendants, tie pins, cufflinks, nose rings, and toe rings.
Did you know, over the short distances, giraffes can run at speeds up to 35 miles per hour.
Wow. Now, did you know more than 29% of U.S. schools districts have banned bake sales because of anti-obesity regulations?
Giraffes only need to drink water once every couple of days. They get most of their water from their plant-based diet, which is good considering their height makes the process of drinking difficult, and if a lion happens upon a drinking giraffe, even more dangerous. So it's just saying if a predator comes up, it makes it more dangerous for them because they won't have enough time to get up since it's so hard to bend down with their very long bodies.
The saying, "you can't have your cake and eat it," originally was, "eat your cake and have it," and it was seen in print in 1562.
Female giraffes often return to where they were born to give birth. Also their calves, which is also known as the baby giraffe, receive a rough welcome into the world, falling over 5 feet to the ground.
The first birthday cake was originally a cake given as an offering on a person's birthday. The first reference to birthday cake came in 1785.
Fortunately, baby giraffes can stand up, even run within an hour of being born.
During the 17th century in England, people believed that keeping fruitcakes under a pillow of those who are unmarried will give them sweet dreams about their fiancé.
Giraffe tongues can be up to 20 inches long and darkly colored, which is thought to help protect them during frequent sun exposure. Also, giraffes usually stay upward while sleeping, and if they do settle into a venerable position on the ground, it's just for a quick 6-minute nap.
Wow, did you know that cakes have their nutritional value has 0.2 grams of fat? That's an angel food cake, I'm sorry. They are one of the lowest in fat contents.
Giraffes have hair-covered horns and called osations, but only males use them for fighting each other. Sorry, we ran into an ad. Let's turn down the volume. Okay, sorry about that, y'all.
Hey guys, get ready for a sugar rush.
So sorry about that. We were looking up, well, my grandma was looking up some things, but that's okay because mistakes happen. Okay, but would you like to read some facts about giraffes?
Sure. Giraffes require over 75 pounds of food a day, and with the diet of leaves, this means they spend most of their time eating. Also, the giraffe, its name is Latin, and it comes from an ancient Greek belief that it looked like a camel wearing a leopard skin. Despite the charismatic long necks, giraffes seriously have the same number of neck vertebrae as human. Just 7 of them. Okay, let's get back to a little history on the cake. The history of cakes dates back to the ancient times. The first cakes were very different from what we eat today. They were more bread-like and sweetened with honey, nuts, and dried fruits.
Because of their unusual shape, giraffes have a highly specialized convolular system that starts with an enormous heart. It's 2 feet long and weighs up to 25 pounds.
According to food historians, the precursor of the modern cake, round, were first baked in Europe, sometimes in the mid-17th century.
Additionally, the jaguar veins contain a series of one-way valves that prevent excessive blood flow to the brain when the giraffe lowers its head to drink.
A big breakthrough in cake baking occurred in the mid-19th century as yeast was replaced with baking powder and baking soda.
Male giraffes engage in release display of dominic called necking that involves head-butting each other's bodies.
The link between cakes and birthday celebrations may date back to the ancient Roman times. In the 1400s, bakeries in Germany began selling birthday cakes made from sweetened dough. During the 17th century, the birthday cake took on its contemporary look.
Although they're more likely to run from an attack than fighting back, giraffes are not completely defenseless. A swift kick from one of their long legs can do serious damage or even kill an unlucky lion.
However, some believe that the tradition of birthday cakes began with the ancient Greece when people brought cakes adorned with lit candles to the temple and the goddess of the hunt. The candles were lit to make them glow like the moon, a popular symbol associated with the Artenians.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our candy of the day. Drum roll, please. Today we have a candy called Trolley. So, Grandma, what exactly is Trolley?
Trolley is small, sour bite crawlers that are like gummy worms, but they're very sour.
Well, they are gummy worms, and they are very sour. Anyways, what do you think they taste like, if you had to guess?
Kind of like bittery. They make your jaws. They're sweet on the outside, but when you bite into them, they're real sour.
But they do sound amazing. And can we add one nutritious fact?
Sure, they have 0 fat contents.
And calories?
This bag has 108 calories.
So, if you guys are willing to have trolley, maybe you should go give it a go. Or if your friends or family have never had it, maybe go suggest it for them. But anyways, back to some facts about some cake.
The contemporary wedding cake has grown out of several different ethnic traditions. One of the first traditions began in ancient Rome, where bread was broken over the bride's head to bring good fortune to the couple. Whoa.
Male giraffes will test a female's virility by tasting their urine, which is something now you can't unknow. But it is actually a pretty interesting fact that they have to do that. It's just a test to make sure, I guess, they're capable of being with them, I think. It doesn't give all of the detail, but I'm pretty sure if you looked it up, you would get more detail.
The more modern wedding cake, as we know it now, originated at the wedding of Prince Leopold in 1882. It was the first wedding cake, and it was actually able to be completely eaten.
June 21st, 2014 was the first ever World Giraffe Day.
The pillars in the wedding cake did not begin to appear until about 20 years later. That would be in the 1900s.
The first giraffe to make its way to Europe was brought there by Julius Caesar from Alexandria in 46 B.C. As part of the triumphant return to Rome after years of civil war.
The wedding cake is a showpiece at any modern wedding, elaborately decorated and often costing thousands of dollars.
Some 1,500 years later, Lorenzo the Maltese was gifted a giraffe by the Sultan Egypt. Giraffes have not been seen in Italy since equality, and it's caused quite the situation. Wandering the streets of Florence and equipping treats offered out of the second-story windows.
The first mention of cupcakes can be traced as far back as 1796.
Giant first baseman Brandon Belt is officially known as the baby giraffe. So naturally, when a baby giraffe was born in the San Francisco Zoo, it was named Brandon Belt, who was the two met. It was practically adorable.
The cupcakes evolved in the United States in the 19th century. It was the revolutionary status because the amount of time it saved in baking in the kitchen.
And here is a most asked question. Do giraffes have two hearts? There is a systematic main heart. Two lesser hearts pump blood to gills, whereas the waste is discordant and oxygen is received.
Cupcakes have become a pop culture trend today in the culinary world. According to Google, cupcake recipes are the fastest growing recipe search.
Another question is, are giraffes smart? Physically, giraffes are quite extremely tall, have an excellent eyesight, and are considered very intelligent. So they're a little bit smart, but then sometimes they can be a little bit clumsy, but they're very intelligent animals, so I'll give it to them and say that they are pretty smart.
The world's most expensive cake, a person living in the United Arab Emirates didn't have the world record in mind when buying the most expensive cake ever purchased.
And here's another question. Can giraffes swim? Giraffes have long been known as one of the mammals in the world that are not able to swim.
This $75 million cake is now a record holder for the most expensive cake in the world.
And that is all that we have today.
This was
Podcast
Almost
Every Day. Bye.
Bye.
Like and subscribe to see more awesome videos just like this one.